There's a lot in these 2 weeks on descriptive statistics and graphing data. I think there's probably 3 layers to why they're so valuable as foundational concepts to everything we're doing in this class. These 2 weeks are more basic in terms of the mathematical concepts, compared especially to some of the things we do in later weeks, but they're also the type of use of statistics that you're going to see throughout your life. Graphs of data are going to show up in news stories. Descriptive statistics are going to show up. And so being able to understand and interpret the choices that researchers and writers make in presenting that information, it's really important. It's a really valuable skill. And so these 2 weeks are building your ability to engage with statistics as an informed consumer in the future. So that's the first level. But on a second level, we're also learning some basic work in coding. We're getting an introduction to writing commands and what that does, the type of output it gives you. The way that R can take 1,000 numbers and in the blink of an eye compress them into a single statistic, like the mean. And as we go to the types of things that R can do for us to get more and more impressive in these later weeks, but the basic command structure is going to stay the same. So we're starting to learn the language. We're learning how to ask for a glass of water in a new language. And before you know it, you'll be speaking the language. And so this third level is that in these 2 weeks, what we're learning how to do is work with data. It might seem sort of simple, producing the summary statistics for a variable and making a scatter plot. What's the point of that? But those are the things I do every time I get a new data set. It's how I get acquainted with what's in the data. I rarely download a data set and can appreciate the spread or the shape of the data without doing some of these basic steps. So you're doing real data science already when you're doing those commands. And those commands you'll end up running thousands of times if you keep working with data. There's a difference between the type of graph I would run for myself to understand the data and what I would do to put it in a presentation in terms of all of the sort of finishing options I would add. But those are just gradients of the same idea. And if you can do the more basic version, you can eventually do some of the more advanced stuff that we'll go over in the future. So you're making real progress. You're learning this new skill and you're on your way. And I understand that it can be frustrating, it's difficult, it's a new language. But if we stick with it, if we keep going, by the end of the semester, you'll be really impressed with the things you can do.